So after removing the bits and pieces that are needed to make the base from the box, I turned the box upside down and emptied the thing out upside down because it needs to be that way up to fit the base. So you can see the sockets there all ready for the base. So here's a quick view of the various other bits that you need to put together and of the tool for pushing bits into the shredder. So I'm just about to put the base together now. So this is the left baffle that I've got on the table, and the bit at this end is the front frame, and the wheels screw onto the end of that, and this one is called the end frame, and all three of those holes are going to be for screws. You're going to need a cross-point screwdriver, ideally a Phillips one, because the posi drive isn't right for these screws, and there are screws to go in all of those holes there. So all ready to go, crack ahead with doing them up. So I've now got both baffles screwed on, and you can see that the left one doesn't seem to sit down quite right. I did fiddle around with it a bit but couldn't get it much better, but it pulls into position when you put the wheels on, so in the end I just ignored that. It was a bit tricky finding the posts for the screws, but I managed to get them all in the end. So again, after looking at the instructions, I made up my own mind. So you put the washer on the bolt, you put the bolt through the axle, and then you put the axle into the wheel from the outside of the wheel, which is the smooth side where the hubcap fits, and then it goes through to the rough side, which is the inside, and it's sticking out ready to be pushed through the frame, and you do up a lock nut on the other side, and it's just held on by the lock nut. That's all you need. So these are nylock nuts. You can just about see the little blue bit of nylon there, so when you do them up they lock okay. So I've pushed the wheel through the hole in the baffle and done the nut up finger tight. So now I take both the spanners they've provided and just screw the thing up until it's nice and tight so the wheels won't fall off, and you can see they spin quite freely, all ready to go. So now to fit the other wheel, I've got it all together already. You can see the washer, the axle and everything all goes like that. Then just put it down and do up the thing finger tight. This one was a bit fiddly because of the fact that the plastic was bent, so I had to fiddle around with it a bit to get it into position, and then as before just use the spanners to tighten it up until it's nice and tight, and then all I need to do is to fit the two end caps, these little orange things here. Just push them in and give them a good thump to bash them down. So that's one side, and now just turn it over and repeat on the other side, and the base is now all ready to be fitted to the shredder. So line the whole thing up and push it together. I did find that I needed to fiddle with the baffles to make them line up with the side of the shredder to get it fully in. There's the two screws holding that bit on, and those two managed to find the holes in these pillars, so it's all together now, just ready to stand it the right way up, take it outside and give it a try tomorrow. And now this turned out to be the most difficult part of the build. It took me quite a few minutes to put together this very badly designed, very badly made, very badly moulded hopper. Once it's together it's absolutely fine, but putting it together is very fiddly because the little lugs just don't line up with each other. The thing is all distorted. I can't understand why they didn't make it a tiny bit bigger and ship it assembled, just pushed over the end of the shredder. That would have been so much better. But there we are, it's finally all together. So here we are, ready to try the shredder. It's important to completely unreel your cable because it's going to be pulling about 10 amps. So we've got it as unbundled as we can. And the thing's up the top there, all ready to have a go. So before we start running it, here are the knives. They rotate around there. And there's the guard that they cut against. You have to have the thing screwed up and this little safety switch engaged into that slot before the machine will start. So there we are, there's the inside.
You might have to stand up, put the tool on.
way through my second bucket full of shredding, and I've been shredding a mixture of twigs and things and these old battens which are a bit rotten and need to be disposed of. So all ready shredded to go in the hot bin composter over there.